Hello, and thank you for tuning into this video. I am Marissa Ford, independent music artist, as well as Disney princess performer who has struggled with stage fright my whole entire life. And today in this video, I'm going to be talking about some public speaking, on stage performance tips that have helped me over the years. Whether it's a speech, a pitch, a poem, a dance, 1, 2, 3, 4 people, it doesn't matter. If you're getting in front of an audience, this is what I use to get rid of the fear and focus on the show. So let's get right into it. So I believe there are 2 parts to preparing for getting in front of an audience. 1, the planning. 2, the practice, right? And each of those 2 phases has 4 steps. In this video, we're going to talk about the first 4 steps of the planning part of getting in front of your audience, no matter the performance material. Okay, here we go. Also, if you want to see the other step, the practice, if you want to skip, you can go to that video. I suggest doing the steps in order. The system is tried and true. Let me tell you, I've done it. Either way, the other 4 steps will be in that video. So go there if you like, or watch that one right after you watch this one. Cool. The 4 steps of the planning phase are: establish your story, outline your time, anticipate your audience, and make it special. Let's break each one of those down with a little more detail. The first one, establish your story. What does that mean? What point are you trying to get across by getting in front of this audience? Focus on the mission. Okay, are you there to convince your boss to give you a raise? Are you there to present information? Whatever it is, the focus should first be on what are you trying to make your audience feel or understand after and during your time in front of them. How does this help when dealing with stage fright? If you are focused on your mission, if you are focused on the message, if you are focused on giving what you came to give, really is what you are there up there in front of the audience. You're up there to give a message, to give information, to give entertainment. So if you're focused on what you're there to do, you can't really be focused on what could go wrong, because you already are sure as to what things you need to hit on stage. Okay, let me give you an example. Firefighter John is giving a career day speech for 3rd graders, okay? And he doesn't know, oh my gosh, I don't know how to talk to 3rd graders. What am I gonna do? First things first, don't panic, because that's what we do. When we find out we gotta be on stage, we find out we gotta be in front of some people, we start freaking out. I've done it. Oh, I'm good at it. What am I there to tell them? What is my message? What would kids like to know about being a firefighter? It's a fulfilling career. Cool. So I'm going to be there to talk about how fulfilling it is. And for kicks and giggles, let's say it's fun as well. Maybe it is fun to be a firefighter. It's hard work, it's dangerous work, but it's also fun. And that is the message he decides he wants to give to the kids. So instead of thinking about how much anxiety he's going to have being in front of teachers and parents and students talking about a job he has had for years, he is going to focus on the things that make his job fulfilling, the things that make his job fun, and his mind is now focused on preparing for the show rather than on how scary it's going to be to get in front of these people. Step 2, outline your time, meaning schedule your stage time. I found to avoid awkward moments on stage, or not singing long enough, or not doing enough songs, or doing too many songs, if I schedule every minute, every second that I'm going to be on stage, I don't have to worry about that. And a lot of times we miscalculate. We think, oh, 10 minutes isn't long, but in front of 50, 30, 100 people, even 5 people, 10 minutes can feel like a lifetime. And most of the time when you get on stage, you know how long you're going to be up there. It's a 25-minute set, it's a 10-minute set, it's a 15-minute set. So here's an example of how to schedule your time. Firefighter John has a 15-minute career day speech. Okay, so he said he wants to talk about it being fun and it being fulfilling. So he's going to talk for 5 minutes about all the fun stuff there is to say about being a firefighter, why it's fun, how it's fun, where it's fun. And then he's going to take 5 minutes to talk about how fulfilling it is. Who does it fulfill? His family life, him, all of the details he can possibly think of how it's fulfilling. And he's going to write his speech accordingly. And he has 5 more minutes. That's only 10 minutes. He's going to use that last 5 minutes for a Q&A. So he really only has to write a 10-minute speech. And maybe he should think of some conversation starters for that Q&A just in case nobody has questions, because heaven forbid he gets to that section, he's got a whole 5 minutes and nobody has a single question. So maybe he could even ask them questions. Who here is interested in being a firefighter? Who here knows anyone that's a firefighter? Just to continue the conversation and spark ideas to fill that 5 minutes. And another reason why it's important to schedule the time that you're going to be on stage, because usually when you're performing, there's performers before you, there's performers after you. And if you talk for too long, you can throw off the whole run of show, and you can be cut off in the middle, which is embarrassing. And you could also not talk long enough, and now the person who brought you in to speak for 30 minutes and you only talked for 15, they might feel cheated. So if you're planning out and writing your speech and making sure as you're writing it and you're reciting it with a timer, and you're really making sure that you've planned out and scheduled all that time, you will not have to worry about that. Again, something else that you don't have to worry about, because the stage fright is going to bring up all of these terrible scenarios. And if you're preparing every second and planning out the time and focused on the preparation, you cannot possibly be thinking about the fear simultaneously. And if you want any more information on writing a speech and filling a speech full of those points that are fun and that are fulfilling, whatever your speech is, whatever your show is, I can talk to you about that as well. Just let me know in the comments and I'll make a video on something like that. Yeah. And I'm going to throw in one more example on how to outline your time. Say it's a music performance. If I had a 5-minute set, I could start with a 1-minute introduction. That's a cappella to get their interest. Then I could perform let's say a 1-minute song, original song. And then I have a 1-minute dance break to keep them interested in throwing some variety. And I end with a 2-minute medley. That's my whole 5 minutes. And I know as soon as I walk in singing a cappella that I'm going to make sure I hit that whole time frame that I'm supposed to be on stage, not going over and not going under. All right. Step 3, anticipate your audience. Consider the types of people that are going to be watching you and tailor your message to them. If it's a room full of sports enthusiasts, maybe make a joke about last night's game. If it's, for Firefighter John, a room full of kids, maybe he offers a prize for someone who could answer one of his questions during the Q&A. So they know to pay attention more so than they would if there wasn't a prize. Maybe he's going to choose vocabulary that is more understandable and digestible for a 3rd grader. But also he has to consider there's parents in the audience. So he wants to maybe have a little bit of a message for them. Like a children's film. You go to watch a children's film as an adult and you realize there's all these jokes that you didn't even know were in there because you're a kid and they went over your head. So considering your audience, like these people that make these films, they know parents are going to be in there watching this with the kids, and they want to give that part of the audience a little something as well. And this really helps with stage fright, because you don't have to win the audience over if you're already giving them something you know that they don't have to buy into, that they're already buying into, is really what I'm trying to say. one time I watched a performer at a basketball game, and they didn't care for him. He was a rapper, and they introduced him wrong, I think. They said the best rapper in the city, and everybody was kind of thrown off because they know better rappers in the city and they don't know this guy. But when he got out there, he got the mic and he said, "If you're here for the home team, make some noise." And now they erupted in applause because he appealed to their common ground. He knew that these people were here to see the home team, and now they're more likely to support his message and his song because they have shared interests. And step 4, make it special. What do I mean by that? Okay, so you got, at this point, you should have your speech, you should have your set, you should know what you're gonna say. That should all be together. And if you want to hash that out and talk about how to organize that and get that in deeper details, I think I said already, I'll make a video on that. If you're interested, let me know. But you're making it special. You're looking at this material and you're deciding how you can do something to set it off, right? So maybe firefighter John thinks, I should bring my uniform in and I should have one of the kids try it on. That'll get a laugh from the parents. That'll make the kids really remember or see how big and strong you have to be a firefighter. Even them just holding the helmet, they'll be able to have something tangible and it'll be that much more memorable to them. Maybe he brings stickers and passes those out as they walk into the speech or during the speech, just to add an extra spark of memorability. I'm gonna edit this out. I don't know what. Just to make it more memorable. Yeah, maybe he hands out stickers to make his performance more memorable. Just think of something and it'll come. Those ideas will spark, and just trust them and lean into them. You see performers doing crazy stuff on stage all the time, and it becomes iconic because they did it with so much truth and so much conviction. Maybe if I'm performing, I might, I happen to have a flower here. Maybe I walk up to a member in the front row and I serenade them and I hand them this flower, and it's theatrical and they feel like they had a moment with me, and everyone else can feel that moment. And now I've made that performance that much more special because I wasn't just up there singing my 5-minute set and then getting off the stage. You know, maybe I bring a stool out for one of the songs and I sit down and it turns into an acoustic energy, something that you can do 1, 2, 3. Maybe don't get away from the message and the story you've already established to make it special. You still want to just keep that, but just sprinkle in some unique moments, elements to set it off and make you feel that much more confident about how dope it's gonna be when you get on stage and you kill it. Okay? Yes, I love that for you. So yes, these all together are going to make a real kick-ass? A real awesome performance, okay? And I'm excited to hear if these tips helped you. And if you're doing all of these steps, you're not thinking about how scary it is, how scary it's gonna be, what's the worst thing that could happen. Don't give it time. So we're gonna move on to the practice phase, my favorite part. We gonna practice. It's not a practice. This is only the first half of getting ready for the show, and I already feel like we're ready, but we're not, okay? So please watch that next video, get those other 4 steps, and then you will be ready for the stage. Okay, that's a quick breakdown of the first 4 steps of the planning phase. If you want more details, let me know. I can make more videos with more information. Also, I wrote a book on these exact steps, and there is more detail in there. You can check that out. It is called You Can Perform Like a Pro. I'll link that in the description. Hopefully this video was helpful to you. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up so you can see more of this content. And thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Listen to my music, watch my live performances, and I really appreciate you. See you soon.